Hey everybody, sorry about that. I know I haven't done a video in quite some time, nothing this year yet, but my schedule has changed, and so I'm just kind of trying to get used to that and figuring out how I'm going to schedule in my videos. Plus, still waiting on my contacts to come in. I have some makeup tutorials that I want to do, but I am fairly blind without my glasses. I can see about this close in front of my face without glasses or contacts in, so there would be quite a bit of squinting going on if I tried to do any makeup tutorials right now. So today what I was going to do is the vintage tag, and a lot of you all out there have been doing it, so I thought I would put my 2 cents into it. So first question is, who is your style icon? I don't think that I have one in particular. I have quite a few influences, both vintage and modern influences. I think Marilyn Monroe is a big one. I like her style, but I also really always liked her attitude. A lot of the quotes that you find from her are really great. She really kind of knew what she was doing. And if this seems sideways, I apologize. I'm trying to get my camera propped up, and I feel like it's tilted strange somehow. So if I look sideways, if I don't look like straight on squared in this video, I apologize. Anyways, okay, so another one that I always really loved was Audrey Hepburn. Again, I just got bangs again, and I'm sort of trying to get used to them. We were out, me and the kids, doing errands, and it's raining, and the rain kind of just did a number on my bangs. So anyways, sorry about that. I've always really loved her style, always, ever since I was like early teens, kind of preteen, early teens. I've always just loved Audrey Hepburn. I do love Katharine Hepburn also. I love that she, at a time when it wasn't necessarily super popular for women to wear pants, she was always really into pants. I think I read somewhere that she said that she didn't like her knees, the way her knees looked, so she preferred to wear pants. Sorry about if there's a glare with my glasses with the lighting. It's like horribly ugly outside, and I was trying to get lighting without glare. I knew the reason why I haven't done videos because of glare from my glasses. Anyways, some more kind of modern ladies that I'm really into, that are a huge, like, kind of inspiration, style icon for me. Micheline Pitt, she's a pinup model. I love her style. I love what she has done within her own industry, going from just being a model into the business side of it, creating her own clothing line, getting into being a production manager, and really overseeing and styling and makeup wise. I just think she's really great. And then again, since I was found out about who she was, I've always loved Gwen Stefani. I've always loved her style. I like that she takes risks and doesn't really care what other people think, and just her creative side when it comes to putting her own line together, and even really early on when she would sew her own costumes when she was on tour. So those are kind of the people that have kind of inspired me along the way. Okay, so what is your favorite way to get inspired? I think right now definitely YouTube has been a huge new platform for me to get inspired. I still really love to thumb through magazines. I think I've been getting Vogue a lot. I don't even know why. Sometimes I randomly start getting magazine subscriptions sent to me, and I've never paid for them. I don't know where they come from. I don't know if people like think, oh hey, I'll randomly buy a subscription from me. I don't know. But anyways, I've been getting Vogue, and what did I just pick up? Oh, Vanity Fair. Because most recent Vogue and Vanity Fair have a lot of the like high-end, high-fashion companies out there are really getting back into kind of that vintage styling look. A lot of 50s inspiration I've seen, even some like turn of the century inspiration going on out there. So if you haven't picked up those two magazines lately, I highly recommend it because there's some really interesting stuff going on in like high fashion. So I'm hoping at some point it'll kind of trickle into down to the places I can afford to shop at. Pinterest is kind of a new obsession for me. And then just, I think going to like shows, going to concerts, I look at, what people are doing, how they're styling themselves, and I just get a lot of inspiration just from kind of walking around and checking people out where I live. Okay, next question number 3. What is your most used hair tools? Probably my most used hair tools are my brush, my curling iron, and my pin curl clips and or bobby pins. I've been really lazy about using rollers, sponge rollers lately. I just have not. I've been too lazy. Okay, number 4. What is your favorite hair tool gadget? My favorite is probably it's probably more sponge rollers. I think it's just a lot easier for me to wrap my hair in rollers than doing pin curls. I'm really lazy about pin curls, and so they don't always turn out really great. So I think even though I've been too lazy to even do sponge rollers lately because I've been using my curling iron so much, it's not really my favorite because I don't always love the results that I get from curling iron. But that's it. Okay, number 5. Updo, down, or half and half. This really depends on my mood, what I'm doing, what the weather's like outside. Like today it's raining, so it's definitely an updo. If it's really windy outside, it's definitely an updo. But if I feel like taking the time, and sometimes it just depends on what I'm wearing and where I'm going, will kind of determine. So I don't really have a preference. I'd say probably I usually do a ponytail with a bandana most days because I'm at home. I have 2 kids. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, so I'm always running around doing something. I've got preschool, we've got the park, I've got errands to do, so sometimes it's just easier to put it up. Okay, number 5. Is vintage styling something you do daily, weekends only, or just special occasions? Hair and makeup is definitely a daily thing. I always have some kind of vintage retro inspired something going on with my hair and makeup. Even if I have very little makeup on, I usually always have something kind of vintagey retro like today's look going on with my hair, even if I'm not really wearing any makeup. Clothing wise, I don't have a lot of vintage clothing because it's a little scarce where I live. There's about 3, maybe 4 stores around town that do vintage, but out of those, at least 2 are consider themselves costume stores, so the quality isn't very good. So it's kind of hard, and then I have a hard time finding the era that I like in my size where I live. I'm more like 40s and 50s and kind of more of, I think I kind of prefer more the rockabilly look. So clothing wise, I try to style my, sorry, again, my bangs are irritating me. I try and style my current, like, more modern store clothing into kind of more of a retro look. But I do it every day, pretty much. Even if I'm just wearing jeans and a t-shirt, my hair and makeup is always done up. Okay, so number 7, what's your favorite blush lipstick? Okay, my favorite blush right now is Coralista by Benefit. I'm totally obsessed with it. I know my makeup looks really washed out right now, but it is absolutely my most favorite color, and I just discovered it and I'm totally in love with it. My favorite lipstick is probably it's probably kind of a tie between Kat Von D's Adora and I think it's called Eros. It's Eros by NYX. Those are my two favorite reds. Okay, so 8. Let's talk fashion. Dress, skirt, or pants, heels, or flats. Okay, it really depends. My everyday mom wear involves jeans. It just does. Um, it's just what I prefer. I've always been a denim girl, and I find that I can very easily style it the way I want to. Dresses and skirts are usually weekends, or if I have somewhere to go that require them. It's not really every day. Heels and flats. Flats are every day for me. Heels are when I'm getting more dressed up. Number 9, homemade or off the rack. If I could sew, I would do homemade, but I can't sew, so I do off the rack. And I love to shop. It is my hobby, so in some ways I do prefer off the rack. Next, 10, do you swing dance? No. I used to know about this much of how to do it back in the late 90s when it was really popular, but I was never like super great at it, and I cannot get my husband to go and do it. He doesn't want to do it. He's not into it. So anyways, I don't. 11, small subtle touches incorporated into everyday wear or all out extreme. I feel like I like the medium. I like in between. I don't all out extreme. I think sometimes can look a little too costumey. Or it's just not quite my style. Like I said, I really lean kind of more towards the rockabilly styling. It's kind of more my thing. So I kind of like the happy medium, to where I don't like current fashion. I really don't. It's not really my thing, but I have a tendency to take current fashion and try and make it look as kind of retro and vintagey as possible. So I kind of like that medium where you can't really tell whether what I'm wearing is vintage or whether what I'm wearing is modern. So that's how I feel about that. 12, what is your favorite perfume skincare? My favorite perfume, which I can't afford, is Chanel No. 5. I absolutely love and adore it. If I could afford it, I would wear it all the time. My favorite skincare right now is Time Balm by The Balm. I just discovered it. It's doing amazing things for my skin. My skin loves it, so I love it. I didn't really think I was going to, because I don't typically like skincare that's made by makeup companies. I don't think it always works the greatest. But this stuff, I've been really, really pleasantly surprised. My skin is absolutely adoring it. 13, what does the rest of your family think about your style? They all like it. My husband loves it. He thinks it's great. He's totally down with it. My mom likes it. She's used to it. I've been into this since I was like 11 or 12, dressing vintage. The decade that I prefer has changed over the years, but I've been doing it since I was, preteens and junior high. My in-laws think it's great too. They like it. The rest of the family, they all like it. They don't seem to have any problem with it. 14, what is your favorite accessory? Probably bandana or scarves for my hair, and then you can't see right now because it's all pulled up and covered up, but I just had some blue extensions put into my hair. It's just like kind of around in this area in the bottom, and it's like my most favorite thing. I totally love them. So that's kind of been my favorite thing right now, but usually like hair scarf, hair tie, something like that is kind of my favorite. 15, do you find the vintage community warm and inviting or cliquish and snooty? For my area, there's not a huge, where I live in California, I live in Santa Cruz. There's not a huge vintage community where I live. It's a hippie surf town, where I live. So there's not a huge community. For the most part, the people that I have been around, it's mostly at shows, like punk shows, rockabilly shows, stuff like that that's come through. Um, my friends, the people that I hang out with, are totally cool to me. That's why I hang out with them. Some of the women, the girls at the shows, girls can be catty. Girls can, stare you down, look at you. So I get kind of mixed at shows. I either get people coming up to me telling me that they like what I'm doing, or they stare at me like, how dare you, you're not doing enough. Kind of that poser thing. And I'm like, I'm married, I'm 31, I have 2 kids. You're acting like little girls. So that's kind of the experience that I've had. It's kind of mixed. And like I said, we don't have a huge vintage community here. So, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think other places that I've gone, it's always been really great. I usually get very positive feedback about the way my style, the way I style myself, no matter where I go. But unfortunately, girls can be catty, and especially girls at the all ages shows who are just old enough to go to not the all ages shows, the 21 and older shows. So the girls who are just old enough to go to those shows tend to be the ones who are the most catty. I don't know why. Maybe it's insecurity. I'm too old to play those games though. And then the last question, number 16, what drew you to this style? I've always loved watching old movies. I've always loved, the oldie stations, which they're harder and harder to find anymore. But even when I was in like elementary school, junior high, all my friends were listening to like the hip hop stations, and I was like, let's listen to the oldie stations. I've always loved old movies. My mom and I always used to pick out a musical or some kind of old black and white. It's always my favorite. My favorite movie of all times, and it has been since I was really little, is Singing in the Rain. Hands down my favorite movie. Um, so, yeah, I just, like I said, like in junior high, like around 11 or 12, I really started getting into vintage clothing. In San Francisco, once or twice a year, they used to have a vintage fashion expo where vintage retailers would come from all over the country and set up shop. And I used to get the best stuff, and it was so cheap. And it was great. And at that time, I could fit into anything. I could fit into the tiny sizes. So I used to get dresses for like 20 bucks and I had dresses ranging from the 30s, maybe late 30s, early 40s, all the way into like the late 60s. Um, and I mean, it was great. I had like a collection of like 20 to 25 vintage dresses that were all in like awesome condition. So that's kind of really just, it's kind of always been there. I've always been into it. I've never really gone with current trends. I've always just gone with what I liked. So that's about that. And so that's my vintage tag. And if any of you out there haven't done it, I highly recommend that you do it because it's kind of fun. So I've got some more videos to come at some point. I'm trying to get into the groove of doing videos again, but like I said, my schedule's just been really busy, so they're gonna kind of be scattered. It may not be a really regular thing quite yet. And then like I said, as soon as my contacts come in, I have some ideas for some makeup tutorials that I want to do. So until then, I will see you all later.